Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to MARKYPICKS, and today I got the MLB Player Props for you guys for Tuesday. I got 6 props lined up in this video, so going back to more of the norm MARKYPICKS style of picks here with the 6 props today. Tons of edges to get into. Before I get into those, we're going to head and recap some of our recent success here. Coming off the NBA video yesterday, where I posted the 2-man slip for Game 3 of the NBA Finals, we did cash out that 2-man slip, so a nice little momentum booster, and maybe this can spark something, because on Sunday, we also had an MLB video out, and we did pretty well on that video. I posted 4 props on that video. Turned out to go 3-1 on that slip. I did flex that slip, so won some money back. Unfortunately, with that Nathan Lucas pick, they kind of voided that because he didn't start in that game, and he came in as a pinch hitter midway through this game, and he actually got an RBI single in his first at-bat, which would have cashed that line because that's all he needed was that one at-bat, but unfortunately, with the way the rules work there, it didn't actually count as a pick, even though I had him locked in originally over. If he doesn't start the game, he's going to get voided at the end of the game, even if he does go over if he comes in as a sub, which I think is kind of stupid because, when I lock the guy in before the game starts to go over, okay, if he doesn't start, I get it. Okay, if he doesn't come into the game, but if he comes into the game and gets 2 plate appearances, I mean, you should be able to count that pick, in my opinion, but they didn't there, fortunately. But Ranger Suarez was the one that tripped up in that video. He hooked us there. It came down to the final out of that inning. He just needed to get through that 1 out there in that 6th inning, and he would have cashed this under 5.5 hits allowed. He gave up a double to Trent Grisham in the gap, but we were right there. He almost had that sweep in hand, and a couple of days with some good success. Yesterday I had the MLB slip in the Discord. It also missed by 1. It's just been kind of the theme. You guys already know the drill with the way I lose. It's always by 1. So, getting some good success here over these last couple of days. Let's continue to build it. Got 6 props on the board. Not going to waste anybody's time. Tons to get into. Let's go ahead and dive right into them. Real quick, guys, if you guys want to take advantage of some free money, ParlayPlay is hooking you guys up big time with a special offer. 100% deposit match up to $100 using my code MARKYPICKS when signing up. So if you guys want some free money, go check out this site. Use the code. Get that free money and start cashing out slips over there. So like I said, we got 6 props in this video today. Tons to get into. So let's go ahead and dive right into the first prop of the day. We're going to be looking at, it's going to be Colin Rea, under 6.5 hits allowed. Projections at 5.5. And 6.5 hits allowed, just right off the bat here, for a pitcher is just crazy high just to begin with. Because you're really going to need everything to go right in terms of the hitter side of things for him to go over this line. And I just don't see it. I really don't. Now, when you look at the matchup here, it can get a little, understandable why the line's at 6.5, because usually you don't see pitchers' hits lines up this high ever, unless you look at the matchup and it can make sense somewhat. So this matchup here, you're taking on the Colorado Rockies. Okay. Now you look where the game's being played at. It's in Coors Field. That's really the big difference here. Anytime a pitcher is pitching in Coors Field, their lines are always going to be, juiced when it comes to the hits allowed and earned runs allowed, because this field is an absolute bandbox. It has been and it always will be. It's just the way it is. The ball just flies out of here in that elevation. This is not a pitcher's park by any means. Pitchers come to die here. However, just with all that being said, the Rockies still stink. It's not like this Rockies offense is anything to, just be scared of. Okay? And Colin Rea is a guy that is kind of a hybrid starter. When he got thrown into the fire this year, being the starting pitcher, I forget who got hurt, which threw Rea into the starting role, but he's a guy that was like in the bullpen, I believe, and due to some injuries, I can't remember who got hurt for the Cubs. I want to say it was Cade Horton actually that got hurt. Yeah, it was Cade Horton. I think it was starting, and then Colin Rea kind of took his spot, And, he's been serviceable for the Cubs here. He's going to give you guys 5-6 innings, try to limit some runs, but he's not going to overpower you by any means. I do think Ray is going to give up a few hits in this game. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he gives up 5 or 6 hits, but just asking him to give up 7 hits is just kind of outrageous, I understand it's not a good pitcher's park, but it's the Rockies, though. The Rockies offense, I'm not scared of at all. So 6.5 hits allowed is just insanely too high. I'm going to take his under here. The trend support, you guys can see the graph. I mean, he doesn't even really get close to this line outside of a couple starts here this season. So I'm going to ride these trends. I'm not scared of the stadium here. I think Reyes is going to be able to pitch well against this Rockies offense. Second one I got for you guys is going to be Garrett Cole, under 2.5 earned runs allowed. Projections at 1.5. So small sample size to look at based off of the starts that he's made this season. He's only made 3 starts this year, and he has gone over 2.5 earned runs 1 out of those 3 starts, and it was against this same matchup here. Garrett Cole running it right back here against the Cleveland Guardians. He did just face them in his last start, and you guys can see on screen, he did give up 4 earned runs in that start. Was not his best start so far this year. He did not look sharp, but even though it is the same matchup back-to-back, I'm expecting him to pitch a lot better. I really am. Garrett Cole, he still looks pretty good in the starts that I've seen him so far. I don't know if he's like the same level that he used to be, Cy Young, Garrett Cole level. He's not looking like that yet. Maybe we'll see. But his stuff still looks pretty dang good. And 2.5 earned runs, I think, is pretty high for Garrett Cole. I wouldn't be surprised, a couple months into this season, some of these lines for Garrett Cole are going to be back down to like ace level numbers. Like the earned runs line, we'll start seeing them at 1.5. So I'm going to try to take this while I can, because I do expect these lines to start, getting more ace level status, because Garrett Cole is that. So 2.5 earned runs. We're going to take his under here. I know it's the same matchup. He just did give up 4 to Cleveland. But this Cleveland offense really has not shown me anything. Over his last week, they've been kind of cold outside of that Garrett Cole start. So Garrett Cole, I'm expecting him to pitch a lot better here. Same matchup. I think he pitches better. And, Garrett Cole, he's not the same ace pitcher, but I still think he's able to get the job done here and have a very quality start. Next one I got for you guys is going to be Tomoyuki Sugano, under 6.5 hits allowed, projections at 5.8. So we're running it right back with this same matchup here. We just took Colin Rea for the Cubs under on his hits allowed. I'm going to run it right back here on the other side of this game. We're taking the Rockies pitcher, Sugano, under on his hits allowed. And this one is a little bit more scarier because you guys can see the trends here. He tends to give up more hits a lot. And this Cubs offense can be scary. They have a lot of good hitters in this lineup. However, as of the last stretch of games for the Cubs, they have not been hitting that well, and they have not been scoring a ton of runs. So I was really going back and forth on which prop I wanted to take for Sugano in this game. I was looking at his earned runs prop, which was at 3.5. I was looking at taking that under, but after doing some more digging, I think the hits allowed in terms of the trends, he hits the under hits allowed just a little bit more than the under 3.5 earned runs allowed. So that's why I'm going with the hits allowed here. Taking both of these pitchers under 6.5 hits allowed, I mean, it's just a high number. It really is. But I'm a little scared about Sugano just because he's really not a power pitcher at all. He's an extreme pitch to contact guy, and this Cubs offense has a lot of power. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cubs hit 3 or 4 home runs alone off of Sugano. So we'll see, but again, this Cubs offense has been struggling a little bit, and I think that's why I'm playing this into consideration on taking the hits under. I think this is going to be a surprising low-scoring type of game. Usually when you play in Coors, you're going to get a very high-scoring game. I think this game might play a little low-scoring, surprisingly, because when you get this pitching matchup, Sugano versus Rea, you're expecting probably lots of runs to be scored, but I'm going to be taking the other side of it. I'm expecting both pitchers to come out here, limit some base runners, limit the hard contact, and I don't think they're going to be getting hit around too much. So hopefully that is the case here with Sugano and Rhea taking both of their hitters under on the hits allowed. Jumping into the next set of props, you were taking a look at the hitter side of things now. CJ Abrams over on the 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And the trends look really, really good for this one. You guys can see over his last 5 games. Abrams has had some pretty monster showings here. And looking at the pitcher matchup here for the Giants, they're going to be starting Adrian Hauser. And CJ Abrams has actually seen Hauser a couple times. He's actually 2 for 6 off of Hauser in his career. Couple of singles, I believe, in those at-bats. He has struck out 1 time, so, it's a pretty favorable matchup for me, in my opinion. Abrams, I think, matches up really, really well against Hauser's pitch mix, so I don't really think there's too many pitches that Hauser is going to be able to throw to Abrams that are going to be able to cook him, so I think Abrams is in a pretty good spot, and Abrams has actually been cooking here. This last 5 grab just shows the last 5, but he's actually been on a little bit of heater over his last 15 games. I believe he's gone over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, like 70% of the time out of his last 15 game, which is a pretty high percentage of time that he's going over this line. So I think this looks good. It's a great matchup. The trends support it. I think Abrams is in a great spot here to do some damage. Next hitter I got for you guys is going to be Alec Burleson, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Projections at 2.2. So another one where the trends look amazing. You guys can see over his last 5 games, he has cashed this line. And I believe this actually goes back deeper than this, because I believe he's cashed this in 7 straight games. So this is an extreme trend pick here. And the trends look good, but the matchup looks even better here. Now you're going up against the Mets here, who are going to be pitching Freddie Peralta. Now Freddie Peralta, usually when you hear that name, you're like, oh boy, this is going to be a tough matchup for the hitter. But Freddie Peralta has not pitched too well this season for the Mets. I don't know what it is, but he has not been like that ace caliber pitcher. He's been very, very bad this year, and I think Burleson's going to look good here. But in terms of these history here between Burleson and Peralta, you guys know Peralta played for the Brewers for his really whole career, and Burleson played for the Cardinals his whole career. So these two guys have seen each other a ton. And Burleson has not had good success against Peralta. Not going to sugarcoat it. He is 4 for 21, I believe, career off of Freddie Peralta. So he's seen him a lot. Hasn't had great success. However, he hasn't struck out that many times. I believe he's only struck out 1 or 2 times, I want to say, in those 21 at-bats. So he's got some good contact against Peralta. Just hasn't been able to have anything to show for it. I think in this kind of matchup, seeing a familiar face on the mound, and Burleson's been just on a tear here recently, I think it looks good here for Burleson to do some damage. Again, Peralta, he's not been, the same caliber pitcher that he used to be over the last few years. Maybe he can find it, but Peralta, I'm just not like what I'm seeing out of him. I'm not really scared about the matchup. I think Burleson, familiar face, he's seen him before, seen him a ton. I think Burleson's able to do some damage here and continue with this trend that he is on. Closing out the props here today, we're taking another guy from this same matchup. We're taking Juan Soto, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Got him at 2.5. So another matchup that we're going to be running back here on this slip. We got the 2 pitchers from the Rockies and Cubs. We got 2 hitters from the Mets and the Cardinals. I mean, I just really like these matchups for these guys, and that's why I'm double stacking these games. And Juan Soto, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs line. This is just disrespectful. It really is. For the caliber of player that Juan Soto is, to give him a straight up 1.5, just normal line, not even this being a goblin line, I think is just outrageous. I really do. And then when you look at the matchup here for Juan Soto's side of things, you're going up against Hunter Dobbins, who's going to be getting the start here for the Cardinals. And, he's really like a young guy that the Cardinals are hoping that can develop into something. And Juan Soto has actually seen Dobbins a couple times as well. He's 0 for 2 against Hunter Dobbins in his career. So it's just small sample size. Not really much to show for it, though. But I think this is a spot where Juan Soto is going to be easily cashing this. I mean, I know what the last 5 graph says. Okay, that's hogwash in my opinion, because Juan Soto has been going over this line, way more times than he has gone under this line. Juan Soto, he's still one of the best hitters in this league, and really one of the best hitters of all time, in my opinion. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable, especially when he's hot. He's not hot right now per se, but, it doesn't take him much to get hot. It's one swing he's going to be getting this in the first inning. So Juan Soto, 1.5. When I see lines like this for star caliber players, I'm going to be all over it. And then when the matchup looks pretty good, like this one is looking, it's even going to look even better. So that is my slips, my picks for this games today here for the MLB. If you guys want some more for today, go check out Props Edge. They're going to hook you guys up with the best data, matchups, trends. Look at sportsbooks lines. You can shop lines. They're just going to make sure all the props that you're looking at are backed by data and that they look good to take. So it puts you in the best spots possible. If you guys want to check it out, click link in the description below. Use code MARKYPICKS, get 20% off when signing up. So we got the 6 props covered here. Hopefully we can get some good results here. We've been building some good momentum here over the last couple days. Hopefully we can continue with that good momentum. Again, join the free Discord, link in the description as well, to continue to get even more free picks and slips, good discussions as well in there. If you guys have not already, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Both of those just helps me out a ton. I really do appreciate all of the support you guys show on these videos. So just one button really would help me out. And that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.